Why am I only enjoying incremental gains? When is that big leap going to happen? What's going on? The diagnosis is what I'm about to reveal. Listen very carefully. If fundamentally applied, if these keys are meticulously applied, you will produce fearful results. Like the molting of a snake. You know the molting process. It rubs its head on an abrasive corner like a rock in order to tear the outer skin. Once it severs, it crawls through tight quarters, shedding that old skin. Is the same thing you're undergoing while listening to me. Which leads us to our discourse tonight. Taking risk. Taking risk. Majority believe they are conservative by default. Oh, I'm conservative. Oh, I don't like taking risk. I remember when I came across this concept of burning your bridges. I'm going to try it. I spent all my savings, spent all my monthly earnings. I said I'm going to work so hard on this business such that the proceeds will be used to pay my rent. So I left no possible means of retreating. Worked hard on the business, working in, day out. At the end of the year, it didn't materialize. Landlord was on my door. Hello, sir. No, no, no. I do not want any explanation, young man. Please give me my money. Alright, give me this. I'll get it back to you. Look, you know I don't live far, said the landlord. I will come to your door 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. and I would mortify you until you pay me my money. After the turbulent situation, it was a whole lot of issue, but at the end of the day, I gave it to him. The next year rolled around and my tuition fee was due. Similar experience where the burning of your bridges could be applied. Said to myself, let's try it again. Internally, everything went haywire. Remember what happened the last time? You almost lost the house. You almost lost your source of income. You almost lost your dignity. Why go through this experience? Why go through this experience again? Let's not do it. No. I kept bringing forth comforting statements that would allow me to ignore this risk without feeling guilty. So faced with this dilemma, do I take the tuition fee from my sponsors or do I risk it on my business? And mind you, if this venture fails, I will be kicked out of school, like literally, because in the Nigerian system, you're not going to be allowed to take the exam if you defaulted. So, do I really want to take this risk? You know what I did at the end of the day? I contacted my sponsors. But the whole point I'm arriving at is you're not conservative by nature. It's as a result of your past experience. Mostly like 90% of risk averse people, it can be attributed to your past experience. You invested money in some kind of venture, it didn't materialize. From then on, you swore you're never going to put money in this. It's all a scam, etc., etc., and all the excuses and alibis you use to bolster up that decision. Even worse, you meet these consultants and they ask you a series of questions. They label you conservative and they are sincere, but the problem is not the consultant. The problem is they're giving you an assessment of your current mentality and approach towards life. Would you rather risk $1 million to an investment that will give you $5 million with a 30% chance of losing it? Hell no. The consultant is not necessarily bad. It's just that his assessment places you in that category. So the problem now is not to fight the consultant or say, I'm conservative by default, or I was born that way. Hell no, you were not born that way. Had you answered the question wrongly, it would have come out negative, placing you in a different category. So you now see that the mental assessment is what produces the result. How you think determines how you act. How you act determines the ultimate quality of your life, your actions. So your conservativeness was produced either as a result of past experience, you don't want to relive that failure, or you just don't want to take risk. You want to avoid failure. Let me tell you something. Those who never try are never disappointed. Those who never expect are never disappointed. So instead of burning yourself, you live by logic. Many run their life through logic. And I saw this outstanding statistics that welfare patients are 3 to 4 generations behind. I used to think it was as a result of no material inheritance. How wrong was I? And it's my philosophy that in the face of objective truth, you should not settle for that rationale. You should probe deeper and see, or rather explore different solutions. It's in the probing that you will see different answers to that problem. For instance, every company goes on a sale. When they give that discount, it is most likely that the sale is going to tick. Yeah? How about we look at it this way? What if there were no stickers outside the window? There was no long queue. They didn't create the theater surrounding that product. Even if they slash the price, would the sale still bump up? Most likely not. So it's that air of desperation they created that makes, or that adds to the increase in sale. Back to the initial discourse. So your mindset contributes a lot to the quality of your life. Talking about welfare recipients, the logical answer would be no material wealth, that's why they are poor. But the unconventional answer is, why don't we look at it this way? Welfare recipients have sustained the mindset, which is the welfare mindset, victimizing others, pointing fingers at the wealthy, blaming everybody for their problems, and living as a living a very small life. Mindsets are like software. If I pick up my iPhone and I click on the on button, it will invariably activate the device, regardless of who clicked on it. A child, a peasant, a rich person, a king. He has no regard and no bias to who took that action. It would always activate the device. The same thing with that mindset. Once you sustain that poor mindset, it would invariably produce the result. The mindset of a welfare recipient. Another example would be, take for instance, you give out a white t-shirt. You've been using this dress for 2, 3, 4 years for some. You decided, I think it's time to part ways. You see that dress after 2 weeks and you are even disappointed. You've given it out and you're infuriated by that size. It's not looking white, it's not looking brown. It's because that dress, the color now attests to the change of ownership. You're looking very pretty, you who's watching me. Not necessarily because you consciously decided to shower, you consciously decided to put on a pretty dress, but you've so cultured your mindset that it is intolerant to laziness and dirtiness by extension. So those habits you execute subconsciously. Oh, the laundry is full. I need to call the laundryman, or I'll do the laundry myself. Those are habits, things that you do unconsciously, like the mental assessment of the consultant. Would you rather invest $1 million in a risky venture? No. Would you take the conservative route? Yes. You're conservative. Woohoo! So you're not conservative by default. It's as a result of your past experience. Majority of people, they hate risk taking. They just want the result. Thomas Edison said, I know 999 ways of how to make a light bulb not work. People focus on the one formula, which is what they love, by the way. Elon is internationally renowned because of his persistence and doggedness towards life. It's my philosophy that action in ignorance only produces pain, only recycles pain. You see people, once they figure out something is wrong, because majority of you know exactly what to do, but you choose not to do it. You know why? You're scared of taking risk. When it was revealed that a major part of my finances would come from intellectual property, my thought was, how does changing people's mindset, recalibrating problems, attacking it from a different perspective, unleashing different insights from a business perspective, how can that generate reward, especially in a country where they have no regard for intelligence? How can I do this? Immediately that was known, I stopped every single thing that would compound my growth, from avoiding my meditation session to my research to the time I spend doing every single thing that is associated with growth. Suddenly, that dish I never used becomes so alluring to clean up. The 2 shirts in the laundry is enough to turn on the machine. The room needs sweeping every 3 days, every 3 hours. Every single thing I needed to put it in place before I drag myself toward this activity. What you will notice is the subconscious mind executing your belief system. One of the things, very scary in fact, about the subconscious is the subconscious mind executing your belief system. You don't necessarily need to vocalize it, but you find yourself executing it subconsciously. Again, how you think determines how you act. How you act produces the ultimate quality of your life. Majority of people, again, you know exactly what to do. You see fat people, they walk up to you and say, I'm very fat and I'm obese, and it has a lot to do with my mental problem, or I have this issue, or something happened to me. They have different alibis to support their current situation. But the reality of it is, you don't need me to tell you to go to the gym. You don't need me to tell you to stop stuffing hot Cheetos in your mouth every single day. You don't need me to tell you to turn off the TV, go and work hard, work twice as hard as the average individual in order to get into shape. I'm poor and broke. You don't need me to tell you to go and learn how to understand the reward system of the cosmos. And if you have money, it might do you well to learn financial intelligence. You don't need me to voice out all of this. Why? It's very interesting. I often ask this question. Why do you ask a question you already know the answer to? Many love talk. They love talking about doing things. They love situations where their peer group, they are constantly conversing about their big goals and the minuscule progress they've made in the space of 10 years. They love talk. When the Bible admonishes that act, it says, The mouth of the lips leads to penury. So talk doesn't solve anything. Action does. Every single thing, the cure to every single problem is action. Now, I'm not trying to streamline all of life's problems, but it is true. The antidote to every single thing is action. I believe you've gotten your time's worth. When I say time's worth, time is more valuable than money. If I say to you, let's go spend $100, alright, let's do X. It will take a day where I have to think about that very carefully. So although you might not inherently understand, or although you might not understand the value of your time or be able to articulate it, but you inherently sustain the idea that your time is very and indeed valuable. So I believe you've gotten your time's worth. It takes a lot of humility and patience to submit yourself under this teaching, and I believe you've gotten your time's worth. As always, my friend, it's a pleasure speaking to you.